it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I thought I would show you a project I've made with the Make a Splash stamp set, which is the host set from the Spring Summer mini catalogue. So it's right at the back on page 73, and it's this goldfish bowl. So I thought I would make a card with it. There are some lovely ideas here, as ever. Remember, this is only something you can get for free. So yeah, not only is it free, you can only buy it with host rewards, it's also subsidised. So you only have to use £9 of your host rewards, although it's valued at 15. So bargain! So if you get host rewards, that's something to think about getting. So this is the card that I have made. And I'm going to replicate it almost exactly, but not quite. So I need to make sure which piece of Whisper White cardstock I want. It's that piece. So this is my usual second layer. Measurements as ever in the blog post, which is linked below. Now do remember to subscribe and thumbs up if you like the video. So the subscription button is in the bottom right hand corner. I'm aiming for 8,000 subscribers. It will make a huge difference to my business if I get to 8,000 subscribers. So if you don't already, it would be fantastic if you would do so. And if you want to know when I go live, when a video posts, then hit the notification bell as well. Right, so this is a really floppy stamp, and I can make it pretty much any shape I want. So I can get it to be a really skew width bowl. Not really something we want. So pop it down and let it just relax for a bit. Either straight, so I'm going to be using this little line, anything straight or very thin, or that is cut away in the middle, do just let things relax a bit. And then I'm going to pick it up with my block, and this is my E block. I am going to need that one, I'm going to need that one, I'm going to need that one, and various others as we go along, but I'll start by getting those. Right, my colour scheme is Smoky Slate, Pear Pizzazz, Soft Seafoam, Pumpkin Pie, my label's faded a bit, Pumpkin Pie, and Sahara Sand. So that is my colour scheme. I'm going to start by doing the bowl, because without the bowl I kind of don't know where I'm going. So I'm just going to ink that up. Now, because I've used these stamps before, they should take the ink quite well. I will show you how I season a stamp that's new, a photopolymer stamp that's new. Not leaning on them is always a plus. So I want my card reasonably straight. I'm coming up a bit from the bottom. It's a technical phrase, a bit. And I'm not really pressing, I'm holding the stamp in place so that there's a chance for the ink to actually transfer to the cardstock, and then you get a really nice stamped image. If you do a kind of what I call the bounce, it's not going to look good. And I am going to actually clean that off before I move on. I'm on a bit of a mission of cleaning things off, keeping things tidy. I spent, I kid you not, about an hour cleaning my blocks. I have 3 and a bit sets of blocks. I use one set for home use, and then the other 2 sets and the extras go out and about. So they go to coffee and card and class and those sorts of things. So they do tend to get fairly well used, shall we say. Right, so, oops, they always are a bit sticky. Not sticky, as in they're self-sticky. They will stick to each other. So I've got the line, which is, for me, I'm using that as the top of the bowl. Personally, I would have made it a little longer, but it's fine. Only because when I kept goldfish in a round bowl, the recommendation is that you have the water so that it's not right at the top, because they need oxygen in the water. and the bigger the surface area, the larger the oxygen amount in the water is. Things you pick up as a child. So I'm just going to stamp that. And I know it doesn't meet, and guess what? I don't care. It's sort of obvious that it is meeting. So that was soft sea foam. I will be using that for some other bits in a moment, but let's pop that away. As I say, I'm trying to be reasonably tidy. Right, okay, so the next thing I want to put in is my goldfish. Plural and singular, goldfish. You can say goldfishes, but fish is a plural as well as a singular. So I'm going to say goldfish, meaning two. Close that for the moment and get my pumpkin pie, which I think actually needs a bit of re-inking, but we'll be fine. So this is the one that's going on the left. So get that reasonably well inked up, and I'm going to push it quite a way to the left, and so that it's towards the top of the bowl, and that's really so that I can add some greenery underneath. Really lovely clean stamp. It's almost distinctive. It doesn't claim to be distinctive, but it's almost one of those distinctive stamps. The pumpkin pie does stain your stamps a tiny bit, but not a huge amount, so I'm not too worried about that. It's only got a bit of the red. Oh, I need that again, don't I? It's only got a bit of the red that is well known for staining stamps. But, right, this one again, I want reasonably to the top and reasonably to one side. And again, beautiful stamped image. Okay, so pop that away, and I just need to put in the base. Whoops, that'll be the stamp set on the floor. Fortunately, it's got its cover on. One stamp set from the floor. Right, so this I'm going to use my long thin block again. I don't know that I need those again, but we'll keep them out for the moment. Sahara sand. I love Sahara sand. I've kind of... It wasn't a colour that I took to terribly early on, but now I'm loving it as a really good neutral. Now, for me, the easiest way of getting this so that it's at the bottom of the bowl, not that I did a hugely good job last time, it's to actually, you know, hover it, and I'm tipping my block a little bit so that I can see when it hits the bottom of the bowl, and then I'm just going to flatten it out. And again, I've not done a great job, but it's there or thereabouts. Now, obviously, you can use your Stamparatus for all of your positioning. I do use my Stamparatus a reasonable amount, particularly if I'm doing conveyor belt crafting, because then you just set it up once and keep going. And obviously, because it's got four sides, you can do lots. Okay. Right, so now we need to build up our greenery. So let's take the sheet off. I love this particular one. Let's use that block. It's a really good filler, and I'm going to mostly be using, actually I know I will be only using Pear Pizzazz for this. So just have to remember where I put it. Whoops, moving my card. Brilliant idea. Not. So stamp once, move it a little bit, stamp again, and then you get a nice bit of depth. And I also want to do some stamping off. So let me grab a scrap of paper, and I'm going to pop that stamped off just here. Just again to add a little bit more depth to what I'm then going to put on top of it, which is the Wiggly Worm one. This is already getting dirty. Huh, hey ho. So this is the one I call the Wiggly Worm, and that I'm going to stamp full strength, stamped off, and then again stamped off for some depth. And then my last one is the Blobby one. And again, I'm going to do some full strength and some stamped off, and you can just tuck it in underneath his fin and then stamped off, and then I'm going to clean that off and just ink up the top of the stamp and pop some more just there, and again just fills the bottom of the bowl a bit. So the only thing I need to do now is to add some bubbles, and then we've finished the stamping, and then we can do a little bit of embellishment. And of course I've just covered up the soft sea foam, which is the colour that I want for the bubbles. So one lot of bubbles, and it's actually, that one's actually coming out of the mouth of the goldfish, and another lot almost coming out of the mouth, and then I've popped another one in there because you get bubbles when they whip their tails. So that's basically the stamping. I do want to do a sentiment, and I'm going to go back to my smoky slate for that and my thin block, and I'm going to use the same sentiment that I used before, and again I'm putting it down because it would potentially end up not straight otherwise. And that I'm going to put on a tiny weeny, teeny weeny strip of Whisper White, and I've got a slightly wider strip of pumpkin pie. And how are we doing time-wise? Not too bad. So I will put a list of everything that I've used in the description bar, and obviously over on my, I say obviously, and also over on my blog. There's a link to, got fuzz. There's a link to my blog post for this video immediately below in the description bar. It's a funny kind of scrambled link. It's what's known as a short link, and but it will take you straight over there. So let's really want that to be a little bit flatter. Let's use at that end. That's a wee bit flatter. Yep, no, I think I've got all of that. I have. Just checking whether my F needed more of a curl, and it doesn't. So that's good. Right, okay, so that's all of the stamping done. Just clean that and pop it back. So all I need to do now is finish the card off and put some embellishment on. So pop my stamp set away. And just flatten that out. So there's the stamp set. Close up my chamois. Pop those there for the moment and give them a polish in a minute. Right, I need a punch, which is that one. So I want this to be flagged. So I'm going to, and I want it to be flagged so that it's like this. So I've got plenty of card. Actually, if I come that way, that makes more sense. Got plenty of card, so I'm going to just snip that straight there, and I'm using the tailored tag punch, and all I'm going to do is come in that's not straight on itself. So come in, and then I can just see the end of the stamping, bring it back a bit, and punch. Bits of flying card everywhere. It's what happens. And then I can just add, actually I'll put it on here because I can just see the words through, and I'm going to squirrel that, because you don't need very much adhesive, and then pop this onto here, and then the angle is exactly the same on both pieces, which is always a plan. Right, so this one I did pumpkin pie and soft sea foam. I've got pear pizzazz and pumpkin pie this time. Oh, and I must stamp on the inside. So on the inside, I just had a little build up there. So we will be doing that. I shouldn't put everything away. So this is just half a sheet of A4, scored down the middle and folded. I have gone short fat for this one. I did long thin for the previous one. I happen to have a pumpkin pie base made up, so I thought I would make the most of it. And say Pear Pizzazz, which is one of the colours I've used. So add some adhesive to that. Pop that down. Now do remember, during Celebration, not only can you earn host rewards anyway, you can also earn free product, and Celebration goes from until the end of March, and we've got lots of lovely Celebration items. And to qualify for free Celebration items, all you need to do is place a qualifying order, and in the UK that is £45 or multiples thereof. So for a £45 order you can get a level 1 item. If you placed a £90 or more order, you could choose either 2 level 1 or 1 level 2. Ooh, I know what I didn't do. I was going to pop this so that I could then cut it off. Oh well, I'll cut it and then place it. Not quite what I had planned, but there we go. That's because I was waffling. So yes, it's a great time to buy because you then get free items. So yesterday and the day before I was using the Golden Honey paper from the Celebration catalogue. Let me bring in my mini trimmer because that will get me a straight cut as opposed to the sort of straight that I've got at the moment. So this is available if you join my team. It's part of the free package that you get when you join. And remember that to join you get £130 worth of product, the mini trimmer, 48 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper, and a free stamp set of your choice. And it's all £99 delivered. So you don't even have to pay for postage. And it's a great time to join because you don't even have to worry about buying or making sales, depending on whether you want to just buy for yourself or sell to others as well. Don't have to worry about it for another, oh gosh, 6 months. So yeah, perfect time to join. Right, so oh no, I wanted to, yeah, I can do that. Gosh, I'm all over the place this morning. So I'm just going to pop that over the bottom of the bowl. Now there's 2 reasons for that. A, it's a nice position, but 2, and this is where I get a bit, I don't like things floating in the middle of nowhere. So I needed this to be grounded. This grounds it, otherwise it's just floating. It's just me, sorry. It's just part of my little sad world. Right, so I've got some of the adhesive sequins. These are 2 sets, but I've got, those are definitely soft sea foam, and these are definitely Sahara sand, and I think they are both from the same set. I will put a list of where they are and what they are in the list of products I've used. And I just thought it would be fun, and this was from the catalogue, I thought it would be fun to just add a few of these. Now I'm a real odd numbers person, so I'm going to have 3 there, and then 1 there, and 1 just, actually just there. And that was because one of the plants was hanging in the middle of the air a bit. So just 3. You can add more if you want, but just the 5 is fine. Did I say 3? I meant 5. Right, so inside of the card, let me grab the things I need, which isn't that. I need that one and that one. Now I'm not putting a sentiment because I've already got a sentiment, so I don't need another one. So we'll pick up that with that and that with that. And pumpkin pie and Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to do my Pear Pizzazz first because then I can put my fish in a place that is sensible over the ferns. So 1, 2, yeah, that will do for that. And then my fish can come in over the top like that. Clean those up in a moment. So if you have enjoyed watching my moments of madness, as I say, please give me a thumbs up and do consider subscribing. It really does make a difference. If you're in the UK and would like to shop with me, that would be amazing as well. It's a kind of, you know, I'm giving you free tutorials, and it would be a kind of easy way for you to give back, I guess. So there we go. Right, so that's the one we've just done, and this is here's one I prepared earlier. So they're the same but different. Be interesting to see whether you like the soft sea foam or the pumpkin pie as the card base. So do leave a comment below. I do always get back to comments. I'm a little bit behind, but I do always get back to comments, and if you ask a specific question, I will try to get back within a couple of days so that I can answer those. But thank you very much indeed for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye!